Hi, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the 12 blood tests that you should be getting done annually. I'm Andrea Gonzalez, and if you want to learn more about how to balance your hormones, reclaim your health, and age gracefully with confidence, click on the subscribe button. That way you don't miss a video that I put out. The first one is B12 and folate. You have to make sure you get this particular test done because it's so very imperative and important, and it assesses the brain health. That's let you know if you are lacking in B12 or folate. Also, B12 and folate helps with blood and nervous systems. These nutrients are very important in regards to your energy and your fertility. Number 2 is vitamin D3. So very important for your bone health, fertility, your immune health, and so much more, so much more. You can go outside and get your vitamin D that way, no more than 10 to 15 minutes. But if you do decide to supplement, because some of us, we are very low in vitamin D3 and we're walking around and we don't even know it. So you have to make sure that you get tested. And not, according to functional medicine doctors, it should be at least 50 or higher. That's in the optimal range. So that's the range that you want to make sure that your levels fall in. And if you do need supplementation, make sure it's 25, hydroxy form if you do decide, and look for vitamin K2. However, there have been numerous studies that synthetic, it's not all that great. If you can't afford it and if you do take it, that's fine. But there's numerous studies that are coming out that you're better off with more of a natural form, going out in the sun. Or that's why I do suggest some people just take a tablespoon or whatever the bottle says on cod liver oil, just to get in at least 1,000 to 5,000 milligrams. Some of us may need to go a little bit higher. Okay, so no more than 10,000 if need be. It's really good for immune system as well. So make sure you're getting in that vitamin D3, whether it's through capsule form or cod liver oil. It's your choice. And then number 3, you want to make sure that you are getting a thyroid panel test done. And when I say a full thyroid panel, you have some doctors that will just tell you only need TSH or free T3, or just 2 or 3 of them that they're testing for. You need to find out the whole entire picture of what is going on with your thyroid health, because some of your symptoms could be related to that. So here's the thing, you can't just test one and not test the other. There's several thyroid tests that your doctor needs to be looking. Like, for example, we have T3, I'm trying to remember them all, so it's a couple of them. T3 free, then you want T3 reverse, T3, then T4 free, then thyroid peroxidase and thyroglobulin antibodies, and TSH. And I will try and put that on the screen as well, or within the comments, but make sure you're testing for all of them, because oh my gosh, I have had a sluggish thyroid for a while. And first my doctor said everything is okay. I went to another one and say, oh, well, your TSH is low. So, if you go to a doctor and they say, no, you don't need all those tests done, you only need these 2 or 3, you need to find another doctor, because you have to make sure that you are testing everything. All right. So the 4th one is comprehensive metabolic panel testing. And what that does is test your blood glucose, electrolytes, and your liver and your kidney function. I've noticed, I've also, because where I live, especially in the summer, it gets really hot, that even if I don't work out, I'm starting to get ocular migraines. And it's quite scary when that happens. And that's mostly due to my electrolytes being low, and I'm dehydrated. And some of us, we're not drinking enough water. For me, if I work out, I drink at least a gallon of water a day, because when you sweat it out, you're sweating out all your electrolytes and your sodium. So I also take just a half a little teaspoon of pink Himalayan salt. I either will put it on whatever I'm eating in the mornings. Like sometimes if I have egg whites, I don't eat a lot of eggs. Long story as to why, but sometimes I eliminate that, or I will put it just a little bit in my smoothie, because you need that for the minerals and electrolytes. So you want to make sure that your electrolytes are on point. And the same thing with your liver health. You need to make sure that your liver is working at its optimal capacity, no toxins and so forth and so on. And then number 5 is, and I think I'm jumping over numbers, I probably messed them up, but we're going to keep going. Your iron status. Women, you need to be on top of your iron. And if you're a man, you're watching this, you want to get your iron checked as well too. But women, we have more problems with that, especially if you're a woman that is still menstruating, you still have your menstrual cycle. You want to make sure that there are no iron deficiencies, because you can experience, like I did, actually a lot of hair thinning I was going through, your nails, very low energy. So some of your symptoms could be coming from low iron, and also your thyroid is not optimized. So that's why I suggested that you also get your thyroid test. And it's very important that you ask for total iron, iron binding capacity, and ferritin. It's tricky to know that you have iron deficiencies, and those two are a very good starting point to just let you know exactly what is going on. Here's the thing, there are some food sources. I prefer food first over supplements, but if your iron is low, you may want to add a natural whole food based supplements, and that should help within 2 to 3 months to get your iron levels up to optimal, and then you can go back to your doctor and get retested again. But again, I do like it, and I like to get mine in lentils and red meat once every blue moon. And it's also in a lot of variety of other foods as well, but it's really high in lentils, and I like lentils. Only just a half a cup, you'll get enough iron in there. And of course you need others, but yes. The next one is a full lipid panel. It tests your cholesterol, your triglyceride levels. Bonus if you can get the omega-3 test done as well, and your omega-6 values. If you find that you have, for me, my good cholesterol is actually low, and it's been like that for years. I eat healthy. I don't know if it ever go away. I took a blood test in my early 20s, and the doctors told me that. And I said, well, what can I do to correct this? I'll just eat healthy and work out. Okay, that's what we hear. I'm pretty sure you guys hear probably the same thing, just eat healthy and work out. But there has to be something else that could be done. And what has been helping me to maintain the same levels, and which is very low. The last time I got mine checked, it was around 42. Now it actually increased to 48. So that's a good thing, but it's still very low. It should be at least, oh gosh, I'm trying to think, in the 50s or 70s, or a little bit more higher than that. And mine is very low. If you do have low cholesterol, here's the thing that your doctor do not tell you. And some of your doctors may tell you that later on in life, it could lead to diabetes. And so I really have to watch it, because my mother, my father, when my mother was alive, she did have, diabetes, and my father, and then of course my sister as well. So I really have to be mindful doing these annual blood tests, especially just seeing where my lipids and so forth and all that stuff. We'll get into it. So the next one is your A1C. So we're moving into the A1C. I also get that checked every year, and mine actually has been good. There has been times where I did see it go up to 5.6, and that was around in my early 20s, sometime after I had my son. But see, I wasn't really into and I didn't have any certifications. I wasn't really into learning health and the values and the numbers and so forth. So I really didn't know. And then when I look back, because I can go back to my records years ago, and I noticed, I was like, it was increasing. And the doctor never let me know that, hey, you need to watch this because it's going up there. These are the things you need to do. I never knew until I started getting older and older, but I have been maintaining it. It's been staying between 5.5. I did see it at 5.6. When I got tested again, it was 5.1, which is really good. Because there was a point in time that, hey, I have to admit, I wasn't eating like I should be eating. And also a lot of things that were going on in my life. That's probably why it did shoot up to 5.6 and 5.7. But you just want to make sure that that number stays at least under 6. But when it's over 5.5, you really have to be mindful. You will hear your doctor say you're fine, it's normal, but you really want it at that 5 and below. Again, mine is 5.1. Knock on wood. I'm happy about that because this runs in my family, and that's why I get really happy about that. And when I see the numbers, and then I know exactly what I need to do to bring it down. Sometimes, even stress can increase that number. So you really want to lower your stress levels, and then you'll see it drop as well. But of course, you have to make sure you're eating healthy, not too many no processed foods if you can, but lower your processed foods, your sugar intake, good complex carbohydrates, making sure you're walking out. If you do have a sugary meal, I can't convince y'all gonna go. I'm like, why am I holding tape? Y'all gonna go, eat however you want to eat. But if you do, here's a secret. Try and like after dinner, you have a cake. I don't recommend it, but I don't know how you eat. Or even a smoothie with a bunch of fruit that's in there, high glycemic fruit. Go and take a walk. And so that helps circulate that glucose in the body. So that way you're less likely to store it as fat. So just go and take a walk if you must. All right, if you must. Then we're going back into when I talk about your fasting insulin, and what that does is assess the level of your insulin resistance that could contribute to blood sugar dysregulation, diabetes, and or other metabolic conditions. Metabolic conditions, again, do run in my family, heart disease, high blood pressure. So I really have to be mindful of these tests. And if you do have someone in your family that has any metabolic issues, you really need to be mindful moving forward that you get these tests done every year, so you know your numbers, you know what to do about it, and you can pretty much correct the majority of these things, pretty much all of them, at least with your diet and exercise. All right. And then very important, the next one is hormonal panel. You want all your hormones tested, not just one, not just two. It includes estradiol, FSH, progesterone, prolactin, sex hormone binding, testosterone, DHEA, sulfate. DHEA is so very important. I actually did a video on this, and my DHEA was actually low during the point in time in my life that I was experiencing stress. So sometimes your progesterone can actually be at an optimal range, but if you get tested and you find that, you know what, I have been stressed and my progesterone is low, sometimes what that can do is lower your progesterone. And you're wondering, okay, why is my progesterone low? Okay, it's like a chain reaction to progesterone. Then you're becoming more estrogen dominant, but that's because your DHEA is low, and it actually just drains. Just your numbers for progesterone starts lowering as well too. So you want to work on DHEA because if you are younger than 40, I like to see those levels between 150 to 200. All right. So if you're under 40, and if you are over 40, just a little bit in between those numbers. It's very good for anti-aging, memory, brain health. If you have problems trying to put on muscle, that could be another issue as well. So that's why I said for a hormonal panel, you also want to know where your testosterone is, because I have been through this. My DHEA has been extremely low. And I was wondering why I could not put on muscle as well. But I was going through a lot of stress during that time. And so I'm telling you from experience. And if your doctor does tell you, hey, your DHEA is low, sometimes they will recommend 25 milligrams. And years ago, I did have a doctor recommend 25 milligrams. I don't recommend that high at all. And I'm so glad that I did not take what she recommended, because it was too much. It's too much especially for women. And sometimes doctors recommend higher amounts for men. I don't recommend no more than between 25 and 50 milligrams for men. Again, you have to make sure that you are deficient before you start taking it, because this is a wonder drug. But if you do have any issues with breast cancer or any cancer diagnosis or anything like that, or in the past, and you're just prone to it, make sure you consult with your doctor first before you add DHEA. I suggest no more than 1 milligram to 5 milligrams, and maybe up to 10. And sometimes all you need is just a month being on it, or 2 months, or 3 months. You may not need to be on it that long, and most likely you don't. And you have to schedule your follow-ups and have blood work tests done just to see where your levels are, and then your doctor can take you off of it. But DHEA is so very important when it comes to anti-aging, honey. It keeps you looking pretty. Let me tell you, keeps the muscle, everything. So that one's important. Testosterone, all the hormones are very important, but that one it just stands out a little bit more. And then we have one, it's called, is HSCP, and it checks for acute illness and long-term low-grade inflammation. We are all walking around here with inflammation in our body, and then in turn, it causes aches and pains. A lot of issues can happen within your body, especially you have inflammation. So you want to bring the inflammation down. If you find that you do have inflammation, talk to your doctor on what you can do, but there's a lot of supplements out there that you can take that will help you, but you want to start with food first and foremost for everything that I mentioned to help balance out the numbers, increase the numbers where they need to be. Start with your diet first, and stress levels, very important. And then you want a complete blood count. Test your red blood cells and your white blood cells. They're very important players in your immune system function and your vitamin deficiency, oxygen transport. So that is very completely important, because some of us, we may have certain signs and symptoms of different illness, immune, you're getting sick all the time, your hair and nails are breaking, it's dry and hair thinning. Sometimes it could be nutritional deficiency. So that is a very, very important test that you want to make sure that you ask your doctor to run for you. And the last but not least, and again, if you stayed until the end of this video, I also wanted to let you guys know that I do have a free download. Just check in the description. It's how to eat for your hormonal health. It's not just a one-page guide. It's, from what I remember, it's about 10, 15 pages guide. It has a 5-day meal plan, it gives you ideas of what products to buy, how to optimize your liver, and so forth. So it gets you started with a meal plan and how to eat clean and how to eat for your hormonal health. It's a very valuable guide, and it's for free for you to have. You can just download it. I will not sell you on stuff. I may recommend some products. I may give you some tips, some recipes, and I'm working on a program for you here soon. So when you are on my email marketing list, you will be the first to hear about it. Yes, you will be the first to hear about it. So I'm super excited about that. So the last one is homocysteine levels. It provides insight in inflammation, vitamin deficiencies, and your methylation. You want to make sure that you are methylating right as well. Your body, the detox pathways. If you're not methylating right, you can encounter so many issues, health issues as well, because your body is not eliminating toxins, your liver's not eliminating, you're not utilizing the supplements that you are taking, your body's not absorbing them, and you need to make sure that you ask for this test as well. So these are the most important tests that you need to ask your doctor to perform for you and get them annually. Do not skip it out. Mark it on your calendar, all right? And make sure you get it done every year. Let's make 2023 a good, healthy year, getting all these tests done, making sure everything is working right, you're getting your energy, you're healing yourself. So you guys be blessed and be